They call it the journey. Since 1945, sailors from Australia and across the world have lined up to experience one of yachting's greatest offshore races, each with their own hopes and expectations. This year, the legacy continues.
We're in the hunt for line honours.
We're in this race to win overall on IRC.
We're doing the Rolex Sydney to Hobart for the sheer enjoyment of it.
For seasoned professionals, first-timers, and Corinthian campaigners, the allure is irresistible as they take on the Everest of offshore challenges, the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race. It's Boxing Day in Sydney, and across the city, crews competing in the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race are readying themselves for the big day ahead.
For us, we're a super maxi, so we're going for line honours. Being realistic, we're probably looking for any sort of moments of glory, like it might be first out of the heads, or it might be leading at 6 o'clock at night when the news comes on. I think we'll take some risks and either try to win or we may come last. You never know, this could be our year.
I have to admit, it's a ridiculous idea that we've come all the way from the UK, having never sailed this race before, and hope to win it. But stranger things have happened.
I love this moment. People on the dock, friends and family, saying goodbye for an epic Rolex Sydney to Hobart. For me, this is what this race is all about. A good bunch of mates and my daughter heading off on an adventure together. Right, let's go to the start line.
For the race organisers, the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia, the start of the 2022 race is a proud moment.
The last couple of years have been horrid. We've had everything thrown at us. You know, we've had the floods, we've had the fires, we've had pestilence, then we got hit by the COVID. It was a shocker. But I'm looking forward to this year because I think we've really come through it with a lot of strength. People are desperate to do the race. It's a rite of passage. It's certainly in the Australian ethos. It's a family thing for a lot of people. They do, you know, a lot of sailors bring their families on it. It's certainly a test of endurance. It's just to do the race. So for whatever reason, long may this race continue.
Gather to watch one of sport's greatest spectacles, excited crowds and TV cameras as the anticipation builds.
I think we're in for a great race. Well over 100 yachts racing, and for the first time, the two-handers, 21 of them, will be eligible for the overall prize, the Tattersall Cup. But boy, we've got some talent amongst this fleet. A lot of people are dreaming it. This could be their year.
Away and racing in the 2022 Rolex Sydney Hobart. The Great Race South is on.
I like Andrew Comanche early. Boy, this is close here.
That is an incredible sight, isn't it?
At the front of the fleet, there's going to be an epic battle between the 400-foot maxis. Can Christian Beck, who's been second twice in Law Connect, finally win line honours? He's facing stiff competition.
Incredible drama already in this race. It is all happening and they're not on their heads.
She's coming back on port. She's going to have to tack again. Blackjack is absolutely threading the needle between Law Connect. Wow, Mark Bradford. Wow, terrific job. That was nervous stuff.
Oh, what a race start it has been.
And the race for handicap honours will be just as hotly contested. Will it be one of the TP52s? Caro looks a hot chance, but there could be a surprise packet, Sunrise from the United Kingdom. Can an Englishman who's never been to Australia before turn up and win this great race at the first time of asking? It's always been about sailors who dare to dream, and just maybe this dream will come true. Andrew Comanche did hit the mark.
So that's 2 spins they need to do and they'll clear their penalty.
Law Connect is starting to rumble here. Can she win this race for line honours? Andrew Comanche, she's done her turns. Come on, boys. And here's Law Connect. She will lead at the second turning mark.
Boy, have we had some drama.
And let's not forget about the majority of the fleet. It's not all about winning. like Jeff Hill's Antipodes. Jeff on his final trip to Hobart, along with his daughter, who's on her first trip. And this typifies what this race is all about, the Corinthian spirit, sailing with your mates, enjoying the adventure and arriving in Hobart safe and sound, having completed one of the great ocean races of the world, the Rolex Sydney to Hobart Yacht Race.
We're here, we're safe, and we're on our way. That's all we need.
After the stunning Sydney start, the boats will now continue the 628 nautical mile course down the New South Wales coast, across the infamous Bass Strait, before the run down the Tasmanian coast, rounding Tasman Island, and then turning into the Derwent River and the finish line in Hobart. After the drama of the start, Andu Comanche has now settled into her stride at the front of the fleet and opened up a gap over second place Law Connect. Runners-up in the last two races, they're hoping this could be their year. For owner Christian Beck, winning the race has always been a long-held ambition.
I think when I was about 5 years old, I used to watch it with my stepfather every Boxing Day. And I, ever since, wanted to do the race. And then after I did the race, I thought, well, I want to try and win the race. So it's definitely something that I've always wanted. It's a dream come true to do it, really. It's a huge adventure. Like, I think, you know, there's big seas and it's a difficult passage and it's sort of Bass Strait. Most Australians think, oh, the last place you want to be is in Bass Strait, kind of thing. Like, and the start is also awesome, just all the boats close and just all the drama that goes with it.
Alongside running a busy international business, for Christian, sailing is the perfect opportunity to spend time with family and work colleagues.
My favourite style of sailing is twilight racing, and the reason for that is that you leave work about 4 o'clock, you're on a race that's like hand-to-hand combat for half an hour, 45 minutes. In Sydney Harbour it's also beautiful as well. The weather's beautiful. It's just a great weekly activity, I find. I've got 4 kids, so I always look to take a child with me, if nothing else, because it allows me to go. So I take my children, but also our staff members like to bring their families. So you get a whole mix of people, and that whole experience is a very, very good corporate bonding thing. I'm not the normal sailor. Like, I'm not actually, I don't know much about it. Like, I'd love to win, but it doesn't consume me. I find happiness is mostly who you're with, the people you're with. So if I can do something that I like sailing with people I like, I'm very happy.
The morning of day 2, and the sun rises to reveal a velvet cushion of fog hanging over the sea. Overnight, the fleet has fared well in the fresh northeasterly breeze. They have progressed down the New South Wales coast, with the leaders now midway across the Bass Strait. Andu Comanche is still in the driving seat, but right on their tail is Law Connect, leading the 3 chasing Maxi 100s.
We've had a great night. We're better than we thought we are. We're 10 miles behind Comanche, so it's all pretty good, actually. It's also been a lot calmer conditions last year, so it's sort of quite pleasant, actually.
Also enjoying the passage south, Jeff Hill on 72-foot Antipodes.
We've had a good race today. Didn't look as though we'd get this far this morning because the breeze was quite light. Tonight will be really interesting because there's supposed to be more breeze, and we're enjoying the sail.
And further back in the fleet, Tom Neam's 37-foot yacht, Sunrise.
We had a really good start, absolutely amazing coming out of the heads. Since we've been going downwind, we've been struggling to keep the boat going. Starting to feel excited now though, because the wind's starting to build, and hopefully we'll be able to do what we're good at and make up some ground.
For the Englishman, these are uncharted waters. He's 10,000 miles from home, on a racetrack he has never seen before, in a country that's alien to him. And yet, against all the odds, this relative newcomer to offshore racing believes he has a chance of winning Australia's most prized trophy.
So the idea of turning up to one of the most prestigious offshore races in the world with a crew that have largely not competed in it before seems like a stupid plan. But you've got to start somewhere, and we do know that this boat, when sailed well, in the right conditions, can win races. We've proven that to ourselves.
In 2021, Tom and the crew of Sunrise took on and won the legendary Fastnet race in the most challenging of conditions, with only one professional sailor on board. It was a remarkable feat.
It's an epic achievement to finish it, and to win one in a small boat with an amateur crew is unbelievable. The thing that I think makes us successful is the fact that 90% of us are doing it for fun. And that's the first judgment of a successful trip. And then the winning is a consequence. But it's proven to be pretty consistent.
Tom and crew then followed up their success in the Fastnet race with a second place in the Rolex Middle Sea race. And now, they're in the hunt for more silverware.
We took on the Fastnet and the Middle Sea race in 2021 and had good results. And the Sydney to Hobart race is the next one. And it has the same terrifying reputation. It's a huge challenge in waters that we don't really understand or know very well. But I believe it's possible. Wouldn't it be astonishing if we came out with a win? It's pretty unlikely.
Some 250 miles further down the racecourse, the huge 100-foot Andu Comanche is approaching Storm Bay and the finish line in Hobart, with Law Connect just 3 miles behind and closing. They enter the Derwent River in an exciting nighttime line honours showdown. Ultimately, despite their valiant efforts, they're unable to reel in Andu Comanche, running out of time and racetrack as John Winning Jr. and crew cross the finish line in a time of 1 day, 11 hours and 56 minutes to win line honours in the 2022 edition of the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race. No race record, but a fantastic achievement nonetheless.
Since getting the boat, we just set our expectations on this race as the Everest or the pinnacle of what we can achieve with the boat in Australia, and it's the icing on the cake of an amazing year.
And finishing just some 26 minutes behind, Christian Beck, tantalisingly close to achieving a lifetime ambition.
Well, I've come second 3 times now, so it's great to come second, but I do want to come first one day. But I did really enjoy it. It was a really nice race.
Day 3, and overnight the northeasterly wind has built from 20 to 30 knots, providing exciting sailing conditions. With line honours now concluded, all eyes are on the race to claim the main prize, the Tattersall Cup, awarded to the overall winner of the race on handicap. Approaching Tasman Island, 4 TP52s are in close contention. Caro, Warrior 1, Guilo and last year's runner-up Celestial. The fast-running conditions are proving rewarding for some, but punishing for others. Falling victim, Tom Neen's Sunrise, who had been in 3rd place overnight. Despite suffering a major setback, they're managing to stay surprisingly upbeat.
So we snapped the boom in half, and then we put it back together again. Well, this is our repair, made of bits of funk, quite a lot of duct tape, quite a lot of sail repair tape.
Despite the broken boom, Sunrise is pressing on. Further down the Tasmanian coast, Antipodes is adopting a more cautious but equally upbeat approach as they pass the iconic organ pipes. The mood on board has been magical as they relish every moment of this much-loved race.
we've been doing better than 11, 12 knots. I think top speed we hit was 25. We're in a pretty good position as it stands.
The crew on board Antipodes typifies the true Corinthian spirit of the race. But for owner Jeff Hill, this, his 19th Hobart, is particularly special, as it's his last.
I started sailing in 1983 when I came back from watching Alan Bond win the America's Cup. And that really inspired me. I went out and took some sailing lessons, and shortly after that bought a boat and took the family sailing. When I look back in that book at some of the memories, there's some really great highlights, but it's the teamwork and the camaraderie, which I think, and the laughter, which is important. You tend to forget the hard and the sharp times, the times you're wet and freezing and you wish you weren't there. I've done many of the iconic sails. I've done Newport, Bermuda. I've done the Fastnet race. I've done Rolex China Seas. Winning the Hobart was also a highlight.
In 2006, Jeff was part of the crew on Love and War, which took the overall win in the Rolex Sydney Hobart. And yet, his abiding memories are more about the journey than the victory.
I mean, I sail not solely to win. Teamwork and companionship is very important to me. It's my sport. So yes, we like winning, but sailing's one of those things that at the end of the day, you want to get there, and you want to get there with the same number of people that you started with.
As Jeff hangs up his Sydney Hobart hat, he has brought together friends and family to celebrate this special race.
Well, I've brought my Santa Cruz 72 Antipodes down here to do the race, so that by itself is quite important. I've brought a number of my friends have come to join with me. And the other thing that's very important to me is I've got my daughter sailing with me.
Fittingly, Jeff's last Sydney Hobart is his daughter's first.
He's really excited. He's telling everyone that we're doing it together. I think it's going to be extremely challenging but exciting. It's like life's an adventure and I'm just going for it. As long as I can really remember, Dad's always loved sailing. As he gets older, I think the memories that he treasures the most are the mates that he's met along the way. He just grins from ear to ear whenever he's on the water.
I was brought up on this race being an iconic race. I think for ordinary yachtsmen, it's the one opportunity they have to sail with the best and compete. And that's what it means to me.
Meanwhile, up ahead, the battle between the four TP52s is at fever pitch, with Guilo and Celestial now dueling for the lead. As they turn into the normally benign Derwent River, they're met with ferocious 50-knot northerly squalls as they match each other tack for tack towards the finish. For Celestial owner Sam Haynes, victory would mean vindication, having come so close to winning in 2021. They cross the finish line just 15 minutes ahead of Guilo on corrected time to take the overall lead and set the benchmark for others to beat.
I wouldn't begrudge anyone, taking it off me if they do sail better than what we do.
But still racing and very much in the hunt is Tom Mean's Sunrise, now in 6th place. Can the small British boat, despite having a broken boom, claim a remarkable victory with just over 100 nautical miles still to go? Finishing their race, Jeff Hill's Antipodes. They cross the line with daughter Natasha at the helm to complete a heartfelt finale, rounding off Jeff's Sydney Hobart career in style.
It's been a great race. We've really enjoyed it. It's been fantastic having my daughter here, and it was great to let her take us across the line.
Thanks, Dad. To actually be part of it was surreal, but so exciting. Definitely a lifetime highlight.
Day 4, and the smaller yachts in the fleet make their final approaches to Hobart. The fading breeze has foiled any chance for the remaining boats to challenge for handicap honours, including Tom Mean's Sunrise. However, despite failing in their bid to win the race overall, the small broken boat has sailed valiantly. They win their class and are justly rewarded with a hero's welcome as Hobart rolls out the red carpet.
This race was unbelievable in every way you could possibly imagine.
For Celestial owner Sam Hayes, there is palpable relief after what has been a long and anxious wait. After coming so close the previous year, he is awarded the Tattersall Cup and confirmed the overall winner of the race.
To win the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race is an absolute life-changing event for me. It vindicates the boat's ability and our ability as a team, and coming number one in this race is a life-changer.
The scenes on Constitution Dock tell the story as boats continue to arrive home. Families reunited and friends swapping stories of their own experiences in this epic race that they fondly call the journey.
I see the Rolex Sydney Hobart race as very much the journey. The start itself, clearing the heads and that proper ocean crossing, like you can't see any land, and then the incredible Tasmanian coastline. There's something that always thumps inside my heart.
It was my first Hobart. It was a bit wet and windy, but a lot of fun.
It's like climbing a mountain. It can be scary, it can be hard. It's not for the faint-hearted, but it's a good experience.
You're so excited to finish, but it's also a big relief. It's great to get there. You could do it once, you could do it 100 times, and it'd never get boring.
Everyone has their own reasons for doing the great race. For Christian Beck, it was to try and win line honours.
Look, we always try and win the race, but surprisingly we went very close actually. Like coming into the Derwent, we were only 3 miles behind Comanche, we're gaining on them, etc. So it was well beyond my expectations. Also the start was phenomenal. Like I think that start will make all the previous starts look boring because so much happened, and I'll never forget that start, I think.
For Tom Neen, the goal was winning overall. It wasn't to be, but in the end, his journey was still rewarding.
But the experience of finishing in Hobart is like nothing else. And we've come away with an amazing experience. So on reflection, I'm delighted we did this. I think you just have to aim big, and that's what we did.
And for Jeff Hill, on his final Sydney Hobart, mission accomplished.
Having your mates and your crew who've been with you many times before, and then having your daughter as well doing her first Hobart was nothing short of fantastic.
Once again, this epic race has lived up to its reputation as one of the greatest offshore challenges for professional and Corinthian sailors alike. The Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race. Next time on The Spirit of Yachting, we're in Asia for the Rolex China Sea Race.